Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
What's up, y'all? I know it's been a minute. It's probably been about 2 weeks, and I am well aware of that. It's just because I've been busy. I'm trying to figure out a good, consistent schedule since I moved when I can do this podcast, because, I have to be in a room where it's quiet, where I can get my thoughts together and, just have, genuine alone time. So it's a little tough right now. My schedule is also not consistent at work, so I'm going to try to do these every Tuesday again, but if I fall off, I fall off. I will be back when I'm back, But for everybody that's been supporting the podcast, I support you guys and back you guys 100% as long as you support and back me. So my name is Caitlin. You can call me Kate. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I'm a raging homosexual. I'm passionate about life, music, and people. And this is my podcast where I talk about anything and everything, and it's called Dude. What was I talking about? I think the main thing that I wanted to go over today, right, is I've been thinking about this a lot, right? AI, okay? Because AI started as I asked AI to help me with my homework. Or, I asked AI to help me with this part of an essay that I was stuck on, right? It was always minuscule little things. But the way AI has advanced, I'm kind of getting nervous. I used to think, when people are like, oh, it's taking over jobs, I was like, well, that's silly. A robot will never do that. But the way that the technology has formed and the way it has advanced, I'm starting to bite my tongue a little bit. Starting to back it up, backtrack it. Because AI, yes, it can't take over every single job. But my issue with AI is it takes over the jobs that take creative skills, right? There are people that went to college for marketing, for visual design, for writing, proofreaders, stuff like that. Everything that takes creativity is getting overtaken by AI. And I have a massive problem with it, especially as a musician, right? Because some of us have played instruments and wrote music for years. And now you're telling me you could just type in any idea to AI and it will make a whole song. You don't even have to sing it. It'll come up with voices for you. It's kind of scary. It's genuinely scary because I feel like it's ripping us of our creativity. And I feel like it's taking away our ability to think and act for ourselves in a way. Shoot, you don't even need a therapist anymore. You can just literally ask AI. So it's taken over therapists, AI has gotten to the point where I feel like we're taking it too far. Even in my own job, they use AI at this point for everything. Literally everything. Every single time I go back to work, there's a new AI thing that they're rolling out, Which I think is crazy because I'm we are people and we have our own brains that function and can come up with solutions, right? And can come up with problems and solutions to problems, right? That's what our brains are for. Why do we need AI for everything? Why do we need AI for marketing, right? There are people that are creative enough to market. Why do we need AI for visual design? There are people that went to school for it and who are creative and who can draw. At this point, it is kind of scary because I feel like it's taking away our ability to think for ourselves and to be creative. Shoot, artists, you can just be like, oh, I want to make a painting of this, and then AI will create it. You don't even have to do it yourself anymore. Like I said, music, I want to write a song about drinking beer in my F-150. I don't know. And then you put that into AI and it'll just create you a whole song. And not only that, but it will put the music behind it. It'll put the voices. It'll put the words. It'll do literally everything that your brain has the power to do in 5 seconds. And I feel like a big part of it is, and I kind of want to blame my own generation for this, and also just technology in general, but the fact that we always need information quick, right? If you want to know something, you used to just Google it real quick, right? I want to know how this works. Google. Now you just go, I want to know how this works. Gemini, ChatGPT. I feel like because we got accustomed to having information so quickly, we've started losing our patience. to be creative, you know? Like, I have never once I don't care if it takes me 6 months to write a song, right, or a year. I have never once asked ChatGPT to help me write a song. The good thing about AI, though, is you can tell the difference. You can tell when something is AI and when something isn't, as far as, like, music and imagery and stuff like that. But the scariest part is the technology is advancing so quickly that it's starting to get to the point where it's hard to tell the difference, which also terrifies me. And a lot of times with apps and social media and music apps, there's no way to filter out AI content. So even if you wanted to, there's no way for you to do that. You have to, like you'll find like a really good song and be like, dang, this is a really good song. And then you'll find out later that it's AI generated. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that because it's taking away from real musicians, real artists. Not only that, but it's taking over technical jobs, it's taking over finance. I've heard even the IRS now is using, like, AI instead of actual people to do audits. So it's taking over finances, it's taking over technology, it's taking over creative fields, it's taking over music. And one of the best parts about music is the talent that goes into music, you know? You go see your favorite artists because they put in the work. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, a couple of these AI songs are pretty freaking good, but it's not enough for me to support an AI artist because you didn't do anything. You typed it all up into the computer and it made it for you, which is terrifying. It's super scary. And I'm scared that we'll get to the point where AI is so realistic that you can't tell the difference at all. Like, remember, okay, think about this. Think about video games, right? They went from like 2D video games, right, to HD graphics. You know? They went from just within, like, 10 years, like a 10-year frame, it went from, like, the shittiest graphics known to man to almost looking like a real movie, right? And that's how fast technology moves. So I'm concerned that eventually AI will get to that point too, where you can't tell if it's AI or not because the freaking graphics are so good, or the writing's gotten better. Because these are real people training AI, right? So what if they train them so good that you can't tell what's real and what's not anymore? And then you're gonna have to try and decipher it for yourself, and then you're probably gonna, like, lose your mind trying to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe I just think too much, but I really don't like that everything is AI. I think the best part about people is that we are intelligent and that we are creative and that we're smart. That's the same word, but whatever, you know what I mean. And I think what's also cool about us is that we have flaws, right? Not everything's gonna be perfect. Not every piece of writing is gonna be perfect. Not every marketing ad is going to work. But that's almost like the beauty of being a human versus AI, is it's not always perfect. Whereas AI, they're like, "Oh, let's do it through AI because there'll be no mistakes." Well, what if there is a mistake? Shoot, what if there is, like, I read my friend's post and it was something about, like, typos and stuff. And she was basically saying the same thing that I've been thinking, like, what if there are typos, okay? That'll be the end of the world? Like, you'd rather use AI than a real human being just because it'll be perfect? Like, people are not perfect, and that's the cool thing about human beings, is no one is perfect, and not every piece of literature is gonna be completely perfect. Not every song is gonna hit the same, and that's almost what makes it cooler when it's done by a human being versus AI. Because AI is almost too structured, too by the book. It's trained by humans, right? But it's trained to be perfect and not miss anything. And I think the coolest part about being humans is we miss stuff. We mess up and we have to fix it. We have to go back. We have to do it again. And we have to use our brains to do that. I don't know. It's gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'm getting concerned, genuinely. When people are using AI for just little things, I was like, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But when people are using AI for everything in their life, then I'm concerned. I watched this whole documentary on this lady that was like in love with her AI boyfriend. I'm like, what? I'm like, lady, you know what's probably better than an AI boyfriend? A real human connection. Yeah. In the real world. Could be worse, given. Because, I mean, your AI boyfriend's gonna tell you everything you wanna hear, and you'll never fight with your AI boyfriend, but, like, isn't that kind of fun? Isn't that the fun of relationships and human connections, is that it's not always perfect, and that sometimes you will argue? So long as it's not super, super bad, right? But I'm talking about little arguments and tiffs, right? That's what makes human connection so cool, is you're meshing yourself with another human being and learning to cohabit, you know what I mean. And maybe I should use AI on my podcast, just kidding. Just kidding. AI is a good tool for certain things, right? So I don't have, like, an editor for my podcast, so I use AI because it edits my podcast for me, and it just edits out all the silence and anytime I cough or sneeze or something. That's literally it. That's all I use AI for on my podcasts. I refuse to use AI for anything else. I would like to use my brain, my own creativity, my own stories, my own thought process, and then speak it into existence through the podcast. I can't imagine doing a full podcast, all AI. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it kills your creativity. I started this podcast because I'm a creative person and I'm also a yapper, you know? I don't know. And the fact that you can use AI to write a whole book, right? There are other people that put their blood, sweat, and tears into their literature, right? But now you don't even have to do all that. You just tell AI, hey, I want to write a book. This is kind of where I want to go with it. And then it'll write you a whole damn story. Like, you don't even need to be creative anymore. And that's terrifying. I think creativity is one of the most beautiful things about human beings, also. Human connections are beautiful. And also, humans' creativity and intelligence is beautiful. And the fact that we could come up with our own stories and take this, like, vision that we have in our mind and put it to paper, that takes a lot of talent. But it doesn't take talent if you just told ChatGPT to do it for you. Anyone could do that at that point. And that's what's so devastating about AI is I feel like, yeah, it's not taking over every job, but it's taking over the creative ones, the fun ones. Proofreading, you don't need that no more. Finances, you don't need that anymore. Musicians, you don't need that anymore. Visual design, you don't need that anymore. Marketing. There is a whole list. IT is getting taken over by AI. There's a lot of jobs that are getting overran by robots, and that's insane to say. Did you guys see that video of Melania Trump bringing out a robot? I don't know what it was for, like a press conference or something, and she brought a whole damn robot out, and the robot gave a speech for her. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that about? Like, you're telling me, like, they have robots doing presidential speeches now? Shit, we're probably gonna have a robot president at this point. Like, all those movies, all those movies in the 90s of, like, robots taking over the planet, and we're like, haha, that would never happen. That's so crazy. Wow. Now I'm like, shit, it probably could. Because eventually AI is gonna reach a point where they're like, nah, we gotta go next level. That's the thing with technology is they can never stop at one thing, right? They start one thing, right? It started with them old computers, desktops, dial-up. And then they were like, this was cool, but let's advance it. And then they advanced it. And then you got better desktops and you got rid of dial-up, right? And then they were like, this is cool, but let's advance it. And then they got laptops and Google and all this other stuff that, like, blew up, right? And that's the exact direction that we're going to go into with AI. And I think it sucks. I think it's terrible because I think one of the coolest things about being human is that you're human. And I'm all for technology, but I'm not for AI. But see, that's the problem is technology advanced so far that they were like, well, now what the fuck do we do? And then they decided to create AI because they have to come up with the next best thing. And that's the problem. That's the problem with society, right? They're always looking for the next best thing. Like, oh, that was cool, but let's do it better. Let's do it bigger. And it's a business, right? Like, let's beat out our competitors. Let's throw this place out of business because we can do it with robots. That's terrifying. That's genuinely so concerning. And I don't know why people aren't more concerned about this. AI is in every single app. You open TikTok, AI. You open Facebook, AI. You open Instagram, AI. Like, there's so much. You open Spotify, YouTube, it's fucking AI. Like, you can't escape it. And I'm low-key scared of it. I'm genuinely scared of where this could take us in the future, because at the moment, we're like, "Oh, it's fine, whatever." But as people start using AI more and people start training AI more and advancing AI, I am scared that it'll take away most of people's ability to think for themselves. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. People already are using it for essays and books and music and all this other shit. Who knows what else they can use it for without having to use their own brain? Like, oh, I don't want to think about this. Let me just ask AI. Let me just have AI tell me. Let me have AI write this for me. Let me have AI type this out for me. Let me have AI do this job for me. Let's let AI do the work. It's terrifying. It's like at this point, it's not even worth getting degrees and certifications in IT because IT is going to be taken over by AI. Eventually, it'll all be computerized systems. There's a lot of jobs that are getting played out by AI, and I think it's fucking terrifying, genuinely. I think we should all go back to using our own brains, our own intelligence, our own creative thinking, and start phasing out AI. Because the more we use it and the more we condone it, the more it'll start taking over stuff. Whereas if we put a stop to it and go, fuck no, I'm not using AI, then what are they going to do then, right? Like the other day, okay, so when AI music was first coming out, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to listen to AI songs and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not going to be me. I want to support real artists. And I was like, good. Fuck yeah. We're all vibing with this, right? We all had the same idea. Well, I was on TikTok just earlier, and this is what got me started on this topic. I was on TikTok earlier, and there was an AI song, and people were commenting like, oh, this is AI, blah, 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 blah. But the majority of the comments were like, I know the song is AI, but it's so good. LOL, I downloaded it. And I'm like, no, guys, no. Don't support AI music. It's not a real person. It's not real thoughts. It's not real lyricism. And it's not even real music. There's no one playing the music. AI came up with the whole damn thing. Don't support AI artists. Don't do it. There are real artists that are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making music just for you to go listen to some AI bullshit. I hate it. And I'm like, shoot, we're already getting our brains conditioned to that because a couple weeks ago, everybody's like, oh, no, I'm not listening to AI music. And now 2 weeks later, everybody's like, well, it's AI, but it's a good song. No, it's not. It sucks. It's terrible. I don't know. I wish there was a way to filter AI out, and I feel like we should stop using it so much as a society as a whole. We should stop relying on AI so much. But unfortunately, I just don't feel like that's the direction that we're going in the world right now. I think people are going more for laziness and convenience than actually gaining the skills and the knowledge to make whatever vision they have in their head come to life without using technology to do it for them. I don't know. In a perfect world, I would get rid of AI. Like I said, I've used it before. It has helped me before on little tiny things. But even then, I'm like, maybe I should stop doing that even. Because I just don't want to support it. But then I know human beings are human beings and they're looking for the easiest way to do things. And unfortunately, the easiest way to do things these days, in this day and age, is AI. It used to be Google, which was cool. You know, you didn't know how to do something, you just Google it real quick, you YouTube it. Now you just ask AI. AI knows everything. It's terrifying, man. It's freaking terrifying. But I don't know. I hope we all go back to real human connections, for sure. And I hope we don't lean more towards AI, even though I already see the future and see that we are going to. I really hope everybody at least doesn't support AI artists and people don't let creativity die. But on that note, guys, thank you for listening. I'm going to try to drop these every Tuesday again. But thank you guys for the support and the love. If you guys have comments, suggestions, concerns, topic ideas, things you want to hear. If you want story times, if you want me to read more other people's stories or my own, just let me know. But yeah, I love you guys endlessly. Thank you so much. And dude, what was I talking about?
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.